I'm Shanna Mann. I own Central Virginia Prep Services, LLC in Waynesboro, Virginia. And this is Ed Kloppenburg, one of my favorite clients. And he's been with me now for just about 9 months, unless you count the startup phase, which is hard to count because we don't know each other then. And Ed has graciously volunteered to share a lot of his wisdom and experience with the book arbitrage business, which a lot of my clients do as well. So Ed, I don't know if you want to say a few words to introduce yourself.
Of course I will do. So my name is Ed Kloppenburg. I am from the Netherlands. I'm 69 years old and I was my whole life what you call a multi-entrepreneur. I had my businesses from my 14th year on. I sold my first book in December 5 last year. And now are my sales between 20 and 25,000 a month dollars.
That's impressive. Among my clients, I think that's some of the fastest uptick I've seen. And so I'm just trying to do the math in my head. 55 years of business experience.
Yeah.
Really shows in how quickly you were able to basically figure out the ins and outs of book arbitrage and really apply what works and apply the consistency that I think is really key to making the textbook business really work from what I've seen. So I think the biggest thing that a lot of my overseas clients have difficulty with is the setting up with Amazon in a foreign country or from a foreign country, which I suppose is to a foreign country for you as well. And I was hoping you would spend some time just talking over the process of getting set up and then basically getting your money in, getting your money out, and all of the pitfalls that most people wouldn't think about.
Okay. So many things are the same if you live in or outside USA. The setup with Amazon, you can find a lot of information how to do it. It's not a big deal. Only thing is when you live inside US, you can apply for Amazon Prime Visa card that gives you 5%. They ask for official papers, so ID, etc. You don't have, so you'll miss the 5% bonus that you get there. Also, there's a bonus from Amazon for reloading your gift cards when you buy from Amazon. That's every time 2%. And they ask a driving license. Now I drive very bad here in Europe, but I don't have a driver's license there. So it's another 2%. Yeah, when you live outside USA, you cannot apply for. But there is a bigger disadvantage, and that is you have your local currency and all the business you do in US dollars. So when you start, yeah, you buy from your local business of your local currency, and you have to exchange that to dollars, cost you 4 or 5%. After the book is sold and Amazon will send you the money, you have to get it in your local currency, another 5%. So that costs you a lot of money when you have a good turnover. So I figured out a way with Pioneer, and I think there will be more companies like that, but this works fine for me. Pioneer.com, and you can ask for an account there. You can choose the currency. Of course, you choose for the dollar account, and immediately you ask for a MasterCard that they will send you to your home. That MasterCard is in dollars nominated. So on the moment you want to, you have everything in place. Yeah, Amazon is able to have a direct connection with Pioneer. You can, that is documented on the Pioneer site. It's very easy setup. And then the money is coming from Amazon direct to your Pioneer account. Then when you buy books, yeah, you have three possibilities. You can buy from Amazon, you can buy from any selling company, a book company, or you can buy from eBay. Now with Amazon, you can connect your card to Amazon gift card, so then it's from dollars to dollars. When you go to a book company and buy books, you put your MasterCard there, and automatically it goes there, also dollars to dollars. And then you have the eBay, they want PayPal. And when you have PayPal, that's the only part that you have to put the money on from your local currency, because they have not direct connection anymore. In the past they had, but between Pioneer and eBay. So all those books you bought, yeah, you will sell on any time, and the money flows in your Amazon payment balance, and then you have the money where you started with.
So
the only part is the PayPal part. Yeah, there you still lose money. When you want the money from Pioneer to your local bank account, it's a small exchange rate there, and I have it here in the Netherlands within 24 hours.
So how small is that exchange rate from Pioneer to your local dollars?
Less than I saw from Amazon or from PayPal.
Okay. What I think is really interesting about this is a lot of people don't think about how they can eke out that extra 5%, 2% here and there, but how that really impacts your bottom line. It makes it harder to calculate, of course, but it, you know, if you're looking at, and I know this isn't how you do it, but just bear with me here. If you're looking at like a 30% to 50% profit margin, if you can add 2% or 5% at the front end, that really impacts things.
Yeah, it's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. So I know very well that a lot of my clients don't spend very much time in Seller Central, if at all, because every time I go in there, there's the same startup help, like the ones that the little pop-up things that say, click here to get a tour. And I also know, because in the dashboard that I have to go through the roles of the clients to log into their account, it doesn't order them alphabetically. It orders them by the last time that the account was used. Mm-hmm. So there are many, many accounts that never make it anywhere near the front page. And when I ship for them, I have to go digging for them. So I know very well that people spend, I think that people really like the hunt of textbooks and shopping for books and thinking about the money that they're going to make. And the boring part about repricing it, dealing with customer service, is really, really unappealing. And maybe people find Seller Central somewhat overwhelming. Was that your experience? Is it too much?
Yeah, you know, from the experience we had with my emails to you, sometimes I didn't know how to solve a problem, what there was. And that's the fine thing, Jana, with you. You had such an experience before. You had to prep with your own books.
Yeah.
You can always help me out, and many times on 5 minutes, but sometimes you took really your time, and I got the answer 1 hour later. But you always give me the answer, yeah, that I could do, could solve my problem. And that's one thing that I expect from a prep service that you give. And I know for sure there are a lot of prep companies, but there is, of course, a difference between a prep company and a prep service. And I think the way you do the prep with your company, that's, the service side, that's very important. And especially for people from outside of the US, you will have some questions, etc. And then you need somebody who is not only after your money, but also wants to bring you more success, and that you can both make more money in the future. And I'm glad I found you.
Well, I'm glad I've got you, because it's always a pleasure to answer your emails. Actually, I know this sounds funny, but your emails show me that you are really thinking about how to improve things in your business. You want to understand how Amazon works. You want to get a system in place so that you don't have to deal with these problems anymore. And it's really been a pleasure to see that once you realized what was causing a problem, you immediately took steps to solve that problem, and that problem disappeared, and I stopped hearing about it. And that's beautiful. And it would be nice if those sort of systems could be like applied across all of my clients' businesses, but sometimes they don't do enough volume so that they see those same problems. You know, for instance, the way that you do your resupply, your replenishments, you reuse your old listings. A lot of clients are not organized enough to reuse their old listings. And so that causes some complications that they're never really going to realize, because they just don't do enough volume. So it's as a kind of a systems geek myself, it's very pleasant to see somebody develop a system and to help that along. The other thing, just to catch up people who maybe aren't aware, my husband and I have done Amazon book resales for 7 years now. So we have spent a lot of time in Seller Central. And so I often wonder, not to toot my own horn too much, but I often wonder how people who use other prep services, how they learn Amazon when the prep service doesn't. I know that a lot of prep services will not list for you. They won't do a lot of things, I think, to limit their access to Amazon. But they also probably have not ever sold on Amazon, so they probably do not realize a lot of what the problems are. So oftentimes, probably the most common problem is people will say, my inventory is stranded, or my inventory hasn't arrived. And I'll have to say, well, it's probably stranded. You probably got gated out of a certain title before the book got there, or perhaps we missed it. You know, we always check before we ship to see if books are gated, because we don't want to ship them to Amazon and then have Amazon be like, yeah, we're not going to sell this, and then you have to pay to get it back, essentially, and then you still can't sell it. So for this to happen in a regular prep service, like, they would never check that you were gated. They would not be able to tell you if you were gated. They would not be able to tell you what to do after you discovered you were gated. You would have to figure that all out on your own. And I guess that most people must just learn, because what else are they going to do? But yeah, it just really surprised me when people started telling me that this was a major differentiation, because I was just like, it was a long process for us to learn all of this stuff on our own, trial and error, and it surprises me that there's not more discussion online of resources of the different things that the little different foibles that you learn from Amazon. And I guess once somebody's learned the hard way, they think, well, I was probably just dumb and didn't realize, but everybody else already realized a long, long time ago. That's my theory.
And also, one advantage I see is when I send book, typically between 50 and 80 books. Many times it is one shipment, and when it are more, there are two.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear from other people complete different experiences. That's also money you can earn. Yeah, everybody talks about the prep costs money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have one or two shipments to Amazon, it's
Hmm.
5. Yeah, it makes money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's another difficulty that people have trouble with is that it sounds self-serving when I'm like, ship 40 books, ship 60 books. Please don't ship 15 books. Because if you ship 15 books, every single time Amazon splits it into 3 shipments. And those are expensive shipments.
Yeah.
Whereas if you ship 60 books, I can pretty much guarantee at least 45 of those books are going to go to the nearest warehouse, and maybe as many as 15 are going to go to a slightly further warehouse.
Yeah.
And it's so much cheaper that way. Like you get your prices down to like 50 to 75 cents a book, sometimes as low as 30 cents a book, and depending on the weight of the books, of course. And whereas with the small shipments, you're paying $2-3 a book per shipping, and that really crushes your bottom line.